Thank you. Welcome to the April 17th meeting of the Waterboro Planning Board. Our first order of business is a public hearing for a Patterson Incorporated public storage unit. We had a site walk there at 6 o'clock. Anyone from the public like to speak on that?
Anybody here from the public?
I'm from the public.
Well, I mean the real public.
Well, I'm a paid public.
Can I use this? Is that all right?
Yeah. I don't know how far you can get.
Yeah, I know. That's all I was thinking. Wait a minute. I'll put it back on, I
When
swear.
this guy public speaks, he goes all the way.
I'll bring that to you.
Hi, thank you.
Yeah, there you go.
That's right.
Tina, when you were setting it up, didn't you know?
Didn't know.
We like it.
Well, thank you very much. My name is Sean Frank. I'm an engineer with Sebago Technics out of South Portland. With me is Mark Adler of the Patterson Companies. The property we're talking about is at 103 Main Street. It's in the village zone, just a little bit over 2 acres. It has been previously improved with a number of buildings, single-family residence, garages, and outbuildings, and those types of things. As we discussed at the site walk, those will be going down. We're going to be demolishing those existing buildings. What we have is 22,800 square feet of mini storage buildings and a small office space, 750 square feet up front. Because we have the small office, we'll have a part-time employee there. We will have a well and a small subsurface sewage disposal system to provide the facilities for them. The buildings, the mini storage themselves also have with that, from a utility standpoint, is electricity so that we have lights. We do have wall pack units. Those will be the LED type of light units now. Wall packs around the building itself, and again, that's really the only utilities to the building. Stormwater has been one of the major issues associated with this, as we discussed. Working with DEP, the idea is basically to break the water from about here, work it around this side, work it around this side. We actually have to inlet it to this end here. So this ditch will actually come down and inlet's in the right spot. We'll actually pick this up over within a culvert here, which will come to a catch basin via a pipe, and then down into the inlet to the stormwater detention and treatment system here. Again, as we discussed, it's a gravel wetland. Really what that is a stone system underneath the ground. That stone system pretty much stays inundated with water most of the time. Above that we have a soil layer, a wetland type soil layer, and we actually grow those plants, the wetland plants, within that soil. And it's really the root system associated with those plants that does a lot of the removal of the nutrients out of the stormwater. We do have a landscaping plan that we've worked with the town planner on in terms of the bushes and trees. Again, the nice part actually, again, as we were looking at the site walk out there, is the fact that basically this is our outfall, which is the culvert crossing Main Street. That's really where our treatment and detention has to be. That actually kind of pushes everything back off from the road. So, you know, really where all the existing buildings are right now is pretty much going to be the open space, i.e. Our treatment pond. And everything new will basically be behind that. We will have the driveway and the location we looked at this evening. Again, we do have adequate sight distance in both directions. We measured 475 coming to the west and over 700 going in the opposite direction. There is 80 feet from the edge of Main Street to the gate. There is a key box there. Basically, you know, you have your little slide-in key card. That opens the gate for you and allows you access 24 hours and 7 days a week. With that, Mr. Chairman, I think with the discussions we had out there, the one thing was I think a condition that we have earth tone type colors to the building facade. My understanding from the applicant is they're comfortable with that. And if the board is comfortable, we do have the DOT driveway permit. We have a sign off from the DEP, from the engineer. We had a letter from the DEP project manager saying that she's all set. It's just a matter of actually preparing and actually writing the permit. So again, if you folks would be comfortable, we'd certainly appreciate a site plan approval conditioned on receiving that final DEP permit in hand. With that, Mr. Chairman, I conclude my presentation to the public and certainly be happy to answer any questions you folks have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think we might as well close the public hearing at 7:07 and move on to the meeting. So it seems like the only thing outstanding on the checklist is a request for a waiver on performance guarantee. Is that correct?
That's correct, Mr. Chairman, and the other thing that might be helpful for the board to hear, as that question did surface at the last meeting, was the temporary grading easement that was off-site. And Sean, I've made some extra copies if you'd like to pass those out to the board. Sean sent me an email, and it may already be in your packet, but I just wanted to make sure that the board was clear that affidavit had been secured.
And again, this is kind of what we talked about when we were on the
Yeah, we
site
talked about it. Thank you.
with the neighbor.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. And again, just to get us oriented, it's actually in this area right here in terms of the site plan.
That's just to get you 3-in-1 slope?
That's correct. It just allows us to grade back onto his property. Once the grading's done, we'll stabilize it and loam and seed it, and, you know, that's his land. It's, the easement's just basically to allow us to go on there and grade it off.
So, Mr. Chairman, with that affidavit, all you will need now is the board to consider the waiver request, which deals with performance bonding.
I would make a motion to waive the performance bond.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All in favor of waiving the performance bond? All opposed? None. It's unanimous.
I'd also like to say that I think that the applicant has done a great job working with the town planner, bringing forth a good layout with some good shrubbery and trees out front. I think in discussing at the site walk that they were willing to do earth tone colors. We verified that the site distance was good and that they met the requirements of the ordinance. So we make a motion to approve the project as submitted, subject to DEP approval and subject to the buildings being constructed with earth tone colors.
I'll second Andy's motion.
For the purpose of discussion, I had one question, and I noticed it on the checklist. How do you deal with hazardous materials? I noticed it on here. I wouldn't have thought of it, but what happens when the guy shows up with a truckload of who knows what? Is there any?
They're precluded from storing hazardous materials in the unit. It's specified in our lease. It's actually
Okay.
specified, I believe, in the statute,
Okay.
the main self-storage statute, that they cannot.
Good.
But it is actually part of the lease that they have to sign.
Good. Good.
I have a question on the motion. What's the requirement for earth tone colors?
There's not a requirement for earth tone colors, and I guess I'm asking if the applicant had, at the sidewalk, I mentioned earth tone colors only because the 2020 comp plan is looking at the village center, and that's something that we're gonna try to get so that everything kind of blends. I don't think that bright oranges and bright blues are really attractive.
Or
And
even
so
stark white.
I don't think there's nothing in the ordinance that gives us the authority to ask for that, but my motion would be with that, and if that's agreeable, fine. If it's not agreeable, somebody else can make a motion.
What color are your other units?
We have a couple of facilities. One of them is, both of them, the walls are like a light beige. The doors on one are blue, the doors on the other are green. Because there's another facility in town with blue doors, we're gonna go with a green door, so it does
That's
stay
earth
in the
tone.
earth tone.
The basic is beige, which is
I mean, I think the
soft
town
color.
planner has done a great job at trying to make this blend in the community. This is kind of the entrance to Waterboro coming in.
So we're making a request for, we'd like to see earth tone colors.
We'd like to see it. It's not a
Which-
requirement. It's not a requirement. I'm asking the applicant.
So when they
if-
paint the place chartreuse, we need to come back and suddenly have, we will then have to have a definition of earth tone. Is that what you're saying?
I guess.
Okay, just checking. You understand what we want.
I think everybody here knows what earth tone colors are. Browns, grays, blacks, browns, greens. Browns, greens,
Browns and greens.
tan, earth tone.
All right, so it's safe to say.
It eliminates orange.
So it's
red,
safe to say you guys are going
blue.
beige and green doors.
That's right. So again,
All right.
the request was made, and again, it sounds like something that
Yeah.
pretty much they're going with anyway. So if the board's comfortable with it, we certainly are as well.
So if you paint the place chartreuse,
I did
we're
want to
gonna
say-
have to come up with a
We'll
definition
have
next
bollards
time.
there, because we have people backing their boats in. The bollards will be, those will be a little tight. Okay.
All right, so we
So we had a motion to
second.
approve with,
A second on it.
second. Any further discussion?
I'm not in favor of the earth tone, but
Well,
I just think it's
What's your
I
mind?
don't think you have any. I don't think you have any grounds to.
We don't.
all right,
We don't.
then let's take the colors off, we'll just ask them to be in coordinates for where the town's going. We'll leave it at that. I'm sure they're gonna go in that direction anyhow.
I don't think. Yeah, as part of the motion, and we can ask, but not
Yeah,
as
let-
part of a motion that
Let's take it
mandates
out
it
of the
because
motion and we just,
you know until we have
Either
something.
Either I amend my motion,
yes.
or I
Yes.
withdraw my motion.
Withdraw your motion, then he has to withdraw his second and re-amend it.
Well, you go
But I think
first.
we've made the point, I think I've made my point, that we'd like it to look,
Yes, sir.
because
Passive.
the 2020 committee, the village center, you can see all this stuff here, the town, you know, this is something that
That's the
we're,
first time I saw that.
this is something that we're working on very.
I didn't know you guys wanted a civic center down there. We're trying to compete with Portland now.
Yeah. Here, you want me to draw where your place is going in?
So I will amend my motion to state that I think that they've worked very well with the town planner, bringing something to the board that meets the requirements of the ordinance, and I would make a motion to approve as submitted.
All right, I'll second that motion.
Pending DEP approval.
DEP approval as well, yeah.
Any discussion? All those in favor? It's unanimous.
Too late, Frank.
Now, when you get the D7, you're taking down buildings and putting stuff up, and that can of chartreuse paint arrives,
If you
you'll
find,
know where it's coming from, huh?
and you cannot use any paint and find it in a pile.
Just one door, that's all.
It's
A
probably
picture,
all oil
that'll be
based.
it.
Well, we appreciate you giving us the, we told you, we'll be up there 2-3 months knocking those buildings down, so we appreciate you giving us the time to get out there and get started on this.
Just don't paint them all, the less than all of it.
Yeah.
Hey, thank
Or
you for
one
your
of them,
time.
one of them.
I'll be getting postcards.
Again, we appreciate y'all taking the time to come out and see us at the site. I think a site walk sometimes is, they always say a visit sometimes worth 1,000 words, and I do think standing there at the driveway and being able to see around there makes you feel a lot better about the site visit. So, thank you very much,
Thank
appreciate
you.
your time.
You're welcome.
What's the gentleman back for?
Our next appointment, that's Mike Allen. He's here to talk to us about a request for a waiver on site plan behind JD's.
Hi, Mike Allen from the City Tax Store. I'm here asking for a waiver for an addition back in my store area. The addition I'm looking to do is for back storage and entrance for doing deliveries. It would be not used for any customer area whatsoever, no new floor space, no new business or anything. It'll just be only for back storage and delivery of product.
Is this gonna take the place of those temporary buildings out there?
No, those are right now for returnables,
Oh, okay.
so this would be product that would be inside the store for sales.
Did you just, what's this page here? That's the addition, there's a redemption center.
Yeah, there's also like a couple of things
Oh,
there.
okay. I think it says on here, it's basically for vendors entrance, right?
Yes. And storage for product coming in the store.
And this is JD's whole property line.
Yep. The carports are used for storing returnables, and that's behind the store.
So at this point, you're just looking for a waiver on site plan?
The checklist, yes.
Tom, have you and Mark had a chance to go over this up front?
Both Mark and I, and Mark will have share some of his comments with you also. We both had a chance to meet with Mike. We initially it was just a conversation, and our first comment was plot something out so that we can get a sense of where you're putting this space, what's the means of ingress and egress, where it is in relationship to the store, and that's when they the simple site plan, if you will. So we felt that it would be best for him to appear before the board because we have the waiver request provision, but rather than to make the investment in all of the engineering and the site plan work and all the requirements of site plan review, the applicant decided to come in and ask you for a waiver from that. Now, the ordinance does state that anything over 1,000 square feet requires site plan review. In addition to that, Mark has secured, which he'll share with you, an opinion from the town attorney that he just shared with me this evening. We're at that juncture where, in a broader perspective, we need to look at how we address the ordinance and any changes to that ordinance. At one point, you remember, it was at 2,000 square feet. It was reduced to 1,000 square feet. And so I think we're in a stuck position now where we need to decide, does everything receive site plan review? Do some of them receive site plan review? Does the planning board wish the staff to look at very small applications, minor additions, somebody that wants to put on a small addition to their small business? And so I think we're at that point again where we need to reevaluate the ordinance. Outside of that, that's why he's here tonight. And that's the only guidance that we've given him so far, because we wanted to get the opinion from the planning board as how you'd like this particular applicant to proceed. And Mark also, if you will, Mark, you could share with them what you received back from Natalie.
I'll touch on that last. The initial look I gave the site plan ordinance, rather than have a section that says applicability, that clearly spells out where site plan review is required, rather it has the first part of the ordinance just says procedure, and it kind of vaguely mentions where site plan review is required and under what conditions, but it's rather unclear whether it says any building over 1,000 square feet for non-residential uses requires site plan review. It doesn't really consider someone who has an 800 square foot commercial building and they come in and they want to add 800 square feet now. Does that trigger site plan now that it's over 1,000? But it's rather vague. And can that applicant come in every year and add 800, add 800? Whether we think that's good or bad doesn't matter. It's really what the ordinance says and how clear it is to the applicants and to the board. Is it applicable? Do they have to come to the board for site plan review? As part of history, the Redemption Center next door, which is 40 by 80, didn't come to the board for site plan review. And so I looked at this proposal, and rather than make someone ugly who had to go through site plan review in the past, I thought it would be good to get it before the board and get your opinion. Does this really need to go for the full site plan review or not? I don't know. I don't think either of the existing buildings have been through site plan. I think we really need to clean up the applicability section of the site plan review ordinance and make it very clear where it's got to go and when it doesn't. And there's a number of exemptions in there that I've had people since I got here 10 months ago that will come in and they're talking about building a 998 square foot building because they don't want to go to site plan review.
Well, it's an issue that we've certainly had on our table more than a few times in the last couple of years. I guess my opinion is that I have no problem granting a waiver on this one, but I think it puts it right in our face that we need to clean up the act and take care of it. But I don't see holding him hostage just because we haven't had our act together. So we've had this on the table a couple times.
Because if I look at think about a 1,000 square foot building, that's a little ranch.
Yeah.
It's just a little ranch. It's not.
Well, considering this is not residential, and it's not gonna be getting any kind of retail traffic, so I'm with Frank that, I don't see why we can't help move this along, but we ought to have to look back and start straightening out our ordinance for sure.
Well, it used to be 2,000, I think, wasn't it?
Yes.
Then we dropped it. Then we talked about more the
And what?
use of the building than square footage.
Yeah,
And I don't know whatever came of that.
we went up and down, we went everywhere from none,
There was a lot of discussion. but
everything.
I don't think anything came out.
no, but I think this sort of puts it in our face again.
Mark, just not right now, but do you have any ideas offhand how that ordinance should be? Do you have any, can you put something down
I think
between the
that's-
two of you
that's-
guys and get us started in the direction we should be going in?
That's another issue, I think, so for us, so
Yeah,
it's,
I asked
Not
the
here.
All
town,
right, yeah, you're right, let's settle up on this.
yeah.
I asked the town attorney what she thought of that procedural section, where she said, that language is not as clear as it should be, was her opening sentence.
All right,
Good.
let's,
I'd like to say something on this. Right now, he's got 3,660 square feet in the primary store. Then he's got 3,200 square feet in the redemption part, which is 36, 46, 56, 6,600 square feet. That's never really been in front of site plan review. Now we're talking about adding out back. We've already got temporary storage buildings behind that. I don't want to be a wet blanket on anybody's parade. This has been a growing establishment in town, and I think it's a good business for town. But I look at what Shop and Save has had to do across the street with one entrance here and one entrance there. I have an issue with the whole entrance of JD's. I mean, it's just one big, wide open thing. I mean, how big can this project get before it goes through a good site plan review for fire safety and protection and everything else? I mean, it's just growing and growing and growing. And what isn't growing in permanent structures is growing in temporary structures. So I'm not sure, I mean, if something should meet site, if this doesn't need to meet site plan, what needs to meet site plan? I guess my question would be.
I guess with a smile on my face, I think he probably understands if he comes in for another expansion, he's gonna go through site plan review.
That's probably what
because
was
we're
said
gonna-
last time.
We need to get our act together, but
Yeah.
What part of this do we need to get our act together? We have a site plan ordinance that says if you have a building that's 1,000 square feet or 2,000 square feet, it has to go through site
and
plan.
this is, in addition is how much?
A little over 1,000.
1,251 square feet. On top of 3,200, on top of 4,900 square feet that's already there. And 32, so he's got 32 plus 49 is 5, 6,
But it's the 12
8,200 square feet.
But it's the 1,200 that we're worried about. It's
It's
the other stuff
1,200
is,
it's a
the other stuff
1,200
is,
that we're worried about.
the other stuff is history.
That does stipulate that he has to come in front of site plan. The ordinance is a 1,000 square foot building, comes in front of site plan.
Unless you can look through that procedural section of the site plan review ordinance that says it's not required for, if you can meet this, and this, and this.
You know, I don't have real strong feelings on it, but I just have concerns about where we're heading on that area, because we've also talked, not on this committee, but on the 2020 committee, about curb cuts and road openings, and trying to control traffic there a little bit in these areas are gonna be a problem. And JD's, you can get people coming in this way, coming in that way, coming in that way. It's really quite a fiasco. Whatever way you can get in and whatever way you can get out is fine.
At the same token, the addition he's putting on there is, I can't imagine a site plan review dealing with what additional traffic or parking he's gonna have. The damage is already done out front.
The point that I'm making is that by having it come in front of site plan review, he can't expand till he brings it up to what the ordinance says. For proper parking spaces, proper entrance, egress to and from the building. The fire chief should look at it. A few other things should happen. So I am not gonna be a real hard fighter against the project, because I don't think he's really hurting anybody, but I just have concerns, because I see all this expansion happening there. I see all the backside cleared out. I see these storage buildings going up out back that don't require any kind of, what else are we gonna have out there? I mean, it's just, we got two entrances. Before we had one entrance. Now we got two, each side of the building has two ways to get out back. This has become a complete circle out behind there. I can foresee all kinds of boat storage and all kinds of stuff happening back there.
But do you think this gives us the right to look at the
I think
parking
that
in front?
I think that if he comes in and he wants to add 1,000 square feet on an existing commercial building on Route 5 in Waterboro, it falls within the site plan review.
I mean, I agree with you, Andy. I fully understand what you're saying. I'm just flipping through this folder. Every 2-3 years, they've put in for an expansion. They've added an addition. They've put a slab in. They built a building on top of the slab. This is for putting storage buildings in. Every one of them, they've got a building permit for. So, I guess my question, yeah, I understand.
So why
with
did
the
Patco-
horse is already out of the.
Why did Patco have to do something on 2 acres? Patco just came in with this whole elaborate site plan review.
I agree with you, Andy. I just think the horse is
And
out.
they have a business that's just as big here, that actually will have 10 times the traffic and 10 times the volume of people, and there's no oversight of it whatsoever.
No,
I'm not against JD's. I love JD's. I go to JD's. JD's is great, but
I'm just saying I agree with you, Andy. I'm just thinking we've permitted everything that we're complaining about. The town is permitted. You know, and they've got a. It's not like they snuck in 2 storage trailers. There's a permit for 2 storage trailers, and
What
you
year
know,
is that though?
like 1970. But I mean, it's all in the folder. It's like I think we got to get a hold of it. I don't think JD's is the place to stake our ground because I mean, we've allowed it. We were the one, the town let him create it. In full knowledge of us.
What are you going to do, put a sunset clause on the building permit?
It's executed. It was executed. You can't, you could.
Yeah,
I don't know, I'm just saying.
I don't know either. I don't know either. I know that we have a site plan review process.
Yeah.
I think it's sad if the position of the board is that something like this shouldn't have to go through a site plan review. Whether that's our ordinance's fault or whatever it is, I know that what Waterboro Crossing has done, what Shop and Save has done, what Patterson,
Napa.
Napa, have all gone through it, and we're doing the exact same thing with 25 by 51 building, and we don't have to go through site plan. So I'm a little bit confused as to why we're waiving that.
I think that's what you're saying, Marcus. When does, I mean, you have an addition you put in for 996 square feet. You know that, I don't know if that was an intention of the 1,000 square feet or what, but.
He didn't, but I've had people inquire.
Well, it was a 996 square foot.
That could be, I think that was the proposal a year ago.
But you know, I mean, I think it's something that on our end, we have to tackle our ordinance and clean it up.
So take that the next, just let me go, because you know I'm quiet and shy about this. So we tell him he has to go through site plan review. He comes back in tomorrow morning with a revised plan for 996 square feet.
And he clearly meets the ordinance.
It what?
Then he would clearly meet the ordinance, because it's under
Yes.
1,000 square feet.
Right? Which still falls back at us. We need to clear up. We need to clarify the hell out of it. I just don't see holding him up for that. I understand your point.
I'm only one voice. I mean,
It just seems kind of shaky ground to think that we could, although, just like Heath Store, there's obviously a problem with parking in the front, and it's just wide open. But does this addition give us the right, at this late date, to all of a sudden try to get a handle on that?
Literally, if you knock off 6 feet off the width of your building, you would fall under 1,000 square feet.
And you still have to pull a permit for it. Mark's still going to oversee the construction.
But he would never
Most of
do
what
that.
I see
So
in site plan doesn't apply, but
So, when we talk about site plan, how much expansion can he do to this property without going through site plan?
That's what Mark says.
Minus
There's no definition.
There isn't any. Yeah. We need to come up with
I thought it was 1,000 square feet.
It is.
But is it 996 this year, 996 this next year, 996 the year after? There's no.
Do two 996s trip? Does that trip the
Basically,
thing?
you
Does
gotta
that
go
say
right
it's
off the
over a
back of
square?
the property.
Right
I
now, it
think
just
we
says.
need to define a. We need to define a.
It's 1,000 square feet. The ordinance is 1,000 square feet, right?
Says any building under, over 1,000 square feet, any non-commercial, non-residential building over 1,000 square feet requires site plan.
So if he puts in for 999
He
square
doesn't
feet.
need to come in front of the board, but if he puts it for more, then he has to come
But
in for more.
yeah, but next year he could put in for another.
Yes. That's what we have to clean it up.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what we have to clean it up. But right now, we're actually breaking that precedent because we're telling him he can put 1,251 square feet,
Right now, yes.
right?
Yeah.
So I think that if we do that, we should say, no, it should be 1,000, it should be 999 square feet. And then we're not setting a precedent that we've set a precedent that we've approved 1,251 when it clearly says that 1,000 square feet needs to be site plan review.
Andy, I hate it when I agree with you.
Maybe another option now would be to do site plan, but to go through it and waive the
I don't
things
think
that
it's
are
a lot not to set a precedent in town. The board, if the board approves doing an expansion of 1,251, now we've set a precedent.
Yep.
That we're doing 1,251 square feet expansion when we clearly can't be doing more than 1,000 square feet. I think if he doesn't want to do site plan, just take 300 square feet out of it, and then he can do it.
Tom, didn't we change on
And
site
then we can clean
plan?
up the ordinance.
We had two ordinances that were in conflict. Was the 1,000 to bring both of them into, or are we still out?
I think we're still out.
There's two in conflict.
Okay.
And what I'd suggest as a remedy to this evening, if, based on your conversation, if the applicant wants to step forward and offer to the board that he wants to either keep it at the 1,250 or reduce it to below 1,000, then you have two different scenarios. If it's below 1,000, then it clearly, not clearly, but it could possibly be interpreted as okay. But to give the board some comfort, so there's no misunderstanding, any other addition that's proposed would be required to go through site plan review. Then there's clarity, because we never had that in the past where it was a condition. And now that you have a formal waiver request form, you can add conditions to granting a request or not granting a request, okay? And at the same time, you can delegate to myself and or Mark to start on some approaches to how we can handle this site plan review. In other municipalities that have site plan review, sometimes they create minor and major site plan reviews. On the minors, which is designated below a certain square footage, it's left to the staff. And if there's confidence in the staff's review, then anything that's below a certain square footage, an applicant could come in, meet with Mark, myself, and the chief, which is what they typically do anyways before the plan is prepped up to bring to the board. Anything that was of a major context, and why I'm suggesting this is because we can frame an ordinance along those lines, always goes to the planning board and always is reviewed by the staff first. But that's what some other municipalities have done, and it's worked quite effectively because it helps the small business person, and then the larger business, larger entrepreneur has the capacity to go through the whole process if it's over a certain square footage. So that would be my suggestion to the board. If the applicant wants to entertain a smaller square footage just this one time, but with the understanding in writing that it's going to require full-blown site plan review next time around.
Can we, as a board, say we grant this waiver, between now and the time we actually get our in high and tight with the ordinance and somebody else comes to us with these same footages, can we grant that to then say, well, for time being, because basically we got cut short here on this. Can we do that as a board?
I think what
I
Andy
mean, not
said
shut
though is,
the next person down until we get our ordinance straight. We open up the window to 1,200.
I don't think you can throw out what you have until
Right.
you have something to take its
Right.
place.
That's right.
So we're stuck with, it's an either or here.
But I mean, there's some options. I mean, you shrink it, do site plan, but waive a lot. I mean, I don't think you need a topographical map looking at the back of that store. Things like that.
I'll bring it under 1,000 square feet if I don't have to go through the whole checklist. I don't mind doing that. I was just looking at the size behind
This
my
is
store,
advisory.
still allowing that the fire truck can get behind the building right now. I can't go any farther back, that's all I was looking at. So, I mean, I don't have a problem bringing it down to.
That would take the photos off you, doing a site plan, and put it right back at us, so we need to straighten it up.
To straighten it out, and as Tom says, to document that from this point forward, that we need to look at that lot as a whole, if something more comes before us. That's what you're saying?
Yes, you now have a formal waiver request form that has to be signed and the date if it was granted. You can grant or not grant, but if, either way, you'll want to put conditions on there if you feel conditions will help the board and help the town. In this case, this is the time to clear it up, and so there's no misunderstanding in it with the applicant or the town, what's required the next time around.
It's a good time to work on something like this.
Is it
Add
logical
our
to you?
list.
Is it logical to you, my position of not granting something 1,251 square feet if we only have authority to 1,000 square feet?
True, because then the board would violate the whole premise of the ordinance.
How do you say the next
Exactly.
person that comes in?
Exactly.
And so you
Is
set a new,
1,300 allowable? Is 1,400
yeah, and
allowable?
then people will just keep, what'll happen is
So now we're gonna do 1,251 every year.
you'll be caught.
We end up doing waivers all over the place,
Alright.
which is what we've done in a million things in the past.
The
So.
best
You
possible
guys are right, that he just,
comparison I can give is the cul-de-sac conundrum. Okay, where it goes from 600 to 1,000 to 1,200 to 1,800, and what do you do when you've got out that far? So it's better for the board to hold its position with what's in the ordinance, otherwise you affect the integrity of the ordinance and the board.
I think we say, right now, we would not request or not grant the waiver for site plan.
Is that a motion?
I'll make a
And you
motion that we
probably
do not
pretty
grant
clear
the
about
waiver.
where we're coming from, so.
Yeah. Second?
second it?
Second.
Any more discussion? All in favor of not granting the request for a waiver? Unanimous.
Sorry.
Thanks for
We
coming in.
can always sit tight till we get our in together and come back.
Yeah.
And alternatively, just so it's clear to the applicant may come forward below 1,000 square feet, and this board does not need to see it in this case. But if they did, if Mark did grant under 1,000 square feet, that any other site plan forthcoming after this would require full blown.
I clearly expect him to come back with 990.
You know, your concrete guy would be happy if you lop off that foot so it's a 50-footer instead of a 51-footer.
It may be helpful to put this in the record, Mr. Chairman and board members, because boards change and things change in life.
I guess my only question, Bob, is how do you enforce that? How is that enforceable?
It's not enforceable.
What?
If we say that anything else that comes back before us,
I don't think you can say that anything but
You
JD
can't.
does come forward.
Yeah.
JD could come back again next year under our ordinance and do
As it
exactly what he's doing today.
Yes.
Stands
As
corrected.
far as I'm concerned.
And hopefully, yes, and hopefully we'll
We'll have something different by
different
then,
with it.
because he can get 10,000 square feet in 10 years at this rate,
So you come back in a year, try to do the same thing?
if we don't get our act together.
There'll be 5 smiling faces here.
Yeah.
yeah, I just don't know how you can enforce it.
No, I don't either.
No, I don't think we can.
It's a good idea, just not enforceable.
I think we can.
Well, thanks for bringing to our attention the hole in our program.
Anything else?
All set? Do we have minutes from the previous meeting? I didn't see. Report of officers, just for the record, thanks,
Thank you,
Mike.
Mike.
At our last meeting, Tim Nelson stepped down as chairman. He's still a member of the board. I was elected chairman. Kurt Gleason is still Gleason.
I was the one who messed you up,
I
sorry.
know, as vice chair. Frank Allen is secretary. We still have a vacancy for anyone who needs some excitement in their life. There's still no.
And we really would like another person.
Oh, yes. And I'm not sure that there isn't somebody in the pipeline, but it doesn't seem like that. I haven't heard anything. It's on-the-job training. You don't need to be an expert. So pending business, we have a workshop on cisterns on May 8th at 6 p.m.
The selectmen are going to be here.
Yes.
We, as I understand it, Wellhead is still pending meeting with the town attorney in Taunton, so that's still up in the air. A request to rezone map 25, lot 11. That's the, actually up behind JD's. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, was that left that the planning board was going to forward it to the 2020 committee.
I think that's pending their report, instead of doing anything ahead of that.
What might be helpful is if some communication can be sent to 2020, and then I can make sure it gets on the May 13th agenda, would be the next time that they would meet. Mr. Woodson has been in the office a couple times, wondering what the action was. So.
To kind of make that a priority to look at that village zone.
Yeah, we'll actually put it right on the 2020 and then see how the committee feels, and so that they can report back to the planning board. I think that's what we're looking for, a complete loop.
Yep.
And Andy, can you refresh me on the cisterns? We are requesting the selectmen to be here.
Yes.
And we boiled it down, my memory doesn't help you, but we boiled it down to a question, didn't we? And that's who's to take responsibility?
I think the question is, do the selectmen want us to pursue this if the result of that is gonna be that the town maintains cisterns?
Good, that's where.
That's, I think
Good.
I think that's where we've come to.
Good, and all the other stuff is
So
down the road.
if they want us to pursue it, then
Yeah.
we can write something up. If they just wanna let it
Yeah, okay,
go off to the side, we can let it go off to the side. But I think that's where we are
that's right.
as a board, that, you know, that it's something that town has to take care of.
Yep.
And you'll send that letter to the 2020 committee?
I will.
Thanks. And we need to schedule a site walk, which was postponed for tonight, for James Waltz. Apparently, we could do that either the April 24th or May 5th, or May 1st, at 6 p.m.
Does anybody know exactly where that driveway is?
David Woodson does.
I have a general idea. David,
I got a general idea.
Is it like a dirt road that's right
Yes.
by a little fire pond?
Way
It sort of looks like it looks like you're going right to somebody's house.
Yeah.
almost.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what
It's like a spaghetti down to this little lot where the house is.
This is like, it's a fairly big house down beyond the hill. You can just see the roof of that house, but you go beyond that,
Yeah.
right?
No,
Right.
that's not the right driveway.
That's not the right driveway.
No,
Yes.
not to the big house. That's their own, they have their own driveway.
But it's way beyond that though, right?
Yes,
You know Dames Welding and stuff like that?
right. The next yard, or that's what David said, there's a house, and it's just before the house, there's a little driveway that kind of goes down.
The
right-
little fire pond right
Yes,
there?
and it goes down, it like kind of goes down and curves around the pond and goes back in the woods.
We're going to be backing out a mile and a half after we drive through that.
All right.
Or you can walk it.
You
Does
could-
Mr.
you
Waltz have a
can walk
preference
it.
to April 24th or May 1st?
I asked
Don't
him,
like
he
it.
didn't really,
Yeah.
he was okay with either one.
Earlier the
I
better,
can do
'cause
either one.
black flies, mosquitoes come out before long, so
Let's
earlier
do
the
it.
better.
Good.
That area,
April 24th? Fine with me.
April 24th
Next
at
week.
6 p.m.
Next week. Yeah, that's on my way home.
So is that
And
right with
then-
everybody?
Yes.
Do we reconvene here for a meeting to discuss that, or do we want to put that on the agenda for another time?
Because the normal meeting is going to be,
May 1st, but we also have a workshop on the 8th, so if we had a meeting on the 24th, we could have the next meeting on May 8th.
Sure. I'm available. Okay with me.
So you want to do April 24th, the site walk at 6, and then come back here for a meeting, and then have the next meeting be the workshop on May 8th?
yes.
Yes.
All
Thank
right.
you.
what?
So we're gonna sidewalk this guy, and then we're gonna come back
Talking
and,
too fast, Tina.
and put it to a vote.
Gonna take us that long
We're
to
gonna-
back out the driveway.
Yeah, by the time we get here.
So we're saying that we're doing it on the
24th.
Would you be able to be here for that? And you've seen this, right? No?
And most of us would back in, so we can drive out.
I understand.
You should go to most places.
I'm gonna park in the street and hop in the back of Frank's truck.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
That it needs a lot of work. And that kind of segues into our next item, which is shoreline zoning. I was at a seminar in Lewiston with the new head of the DEP, and supposedly a high priority will be simplifying expansions in shoreline zones. Wouldn't that be nice? And she said it's hopelessly complicated, people don't understand That's why we used to have calculators at the old meetings. And that's for us, and you can imagine what the applicant feels like. It must be total chaos. So hopefully that's a high priority for them. Also, there are some workshops coming up, SMRPC and MMA, and that's in your handouts, if anyone's interested. Tom, did you have anything else you wanted to bring up? Or?
A couple things. One is to encourage the board members to attend the SMRPC workshops, one or the other, because next year there's likely to be a reduction in the training budgets across the board, committees, staff, everyone. So it may be advantageous to take these in. One of them is being offered by Natalie Burns.
How is that different than the one she gives every other year?
Maybe a little bit more focused.
What, no free food?
No free food.
Oh.
There may in fact be a free food one coming up too, a pro bono thing, in addition to this. So I'd encourage you to do that, in that there's going to be, we suspect, a reduction in training budgets across the board.
They're going to cut back the planning board training budget?
It's likely that for a lot of boards and departments that will happen.
With the reduction in revenue sharing, that's
Right.
the type of thing that would come in.
The second thing is just another note of encouragement. If board members can, if you find it in your schedule, to attend next Monday night's meeting, 5 o'clock at the fire station with the Sewell Company. Mike Riley and Ray Corson will be there. We'll unveil some of the work that both 2020 and the Sewell Company have been working on. It's going to bring our whole mapping process to a whole new level. And it's pretty exciting stuff, and the exciting thing is that we should be able to, with David's help, be able to, on site plan reviews and applications, virtually anything the planning board looks at, be able to pull that up and just pull it right on the screen by using the beginnings of a GIS system.
And that's open to the public.
And it's the information? Oh,
the
the meeting
workshop itself, I mean?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Next Monday at the fire station at 5 p.m.
At 5 p.m. Yeah. So I'd encourage you to make that. It's pretty exciting stuff, and it's brought us to a whole new level. So, and it's going to be particularly beneficial for the planning board, road review committee, and for our offices here in Town Hall, including the assessor, code enforcement, Tina, and myself. And then two last things. Back to the site plan review, after the board's had a chance to think about it, if you wished the staff to do any rough cut of a couple different scenarios, it'd be a good time for us to start on that, and then it would give you a good starting point, and it also won't fall off the screen.
I'd appreciate it. Yeah.
So we'll just wait for the board's directive on that.
If
And
you want us to make a motion, I'll make a motion that you do that.
I think, yeah,
It's not
we'd
like
appreciate it if you guys would put something
asked for
together that we
Well,
can move on.
I'm volunteering it because more and more each day I'm recognizing that, we've got a lot of broken pieces in the ordinance, and it's good to, take them piece by piece. And then ultimately, I think we'll recognize that we have perhaps even a much larger overhaul that's necessary. So what I'd like to do is probably present you with two different scenarios as to how you can tackle it. And then you may come up with a third one that works even better, but at least it'll be a starting point.
Can we get Tina to put that on our agenda
Old
for
business.
old business? That we don't lose it?
Sure. And, probably have something for you towards the, sometime in the month of May. Okay? And then lastly, it seems like it's happening on a daily basis now. Mark and I are collaborating on weak links in the zoning ordinance. And Mark has, shall I use the word, victimized, I think is probably a good word, has been barraged by some citizens in reference to docks and lengths of docks. And so I'd like Mark to kind of share some of his experiences and what the ordinance currently says and get the board's opinion.
Harbor master, right? Harbor master.
Our new harbor master, arm him too. The zoning ordinance presently restricts the length of a dock to 15 feet.
That's useless.
That's a good start. 15 feet, and you gotta figure the first 5 of it's probably up on the shore, so you've got 10 feet in the water, and everyone's trying to, you just can't tie up a 24-foot pontoon boat.
That's in our ordinance?
That's in our ordinance, it's in the shoreline zoning section of the ordinance. It says piers, docks, mooring. Such facilities shall not extend into any water body perpendicular to the shore more than 15 feet. So neighbors tend to point to other neighbors' docks, the length of their docks. And
Dock envy.
Dock envy.
What are you gonna tell your Dunsey up, you know?
I had one yesterday. I went to one yesterday. Someone put out a beautiful brand new dock. I'm envious of. It's one of those aluminum docks with Trex decking, and it's got the crank to drop the wheels down, so you just roll it in and do the crank, and you're done. Beautiful thing. But the neighbor didn't like it, but it was the same exact length as theirs. But they pointed out it was too long, but theirs was grandfathered.
I bet theirs probably isn't older than 1977, so they go to the grandfather thing.
So if you had a grandfather dog, it would need to be over almost 50 years old now. But anyway, if you look around, as you drive around town, look at the lakes and see how many 15-foot docks you see. Not very many. I just can't send out letters with a straight face saying you got to. I mean, maybe when the ordinance was written, everyone had a 12-foot line with a 7 horsepower Mercury.
Well, I think on Lake Arrowhead, Sauk River Corridor also has restrictions on the dock, 8 feet or something.
For temporary docks that you put in the spring and you take out in the fall, the shoreline, the state model of the shoreline zoning does not have any length restriction.
But Sauk River Corridor, I believe, does too. I don't know I don't remember what Sauk. I know
I
the
don't
Sauk
recall
River
them
Corridor
having one, but
monitors.
and the board could consider. There are coves up in Lake Arrowhead that if you put a 50-foot long dock out, you could choke off your neighbors. You could put something in there that would restrict.
There's also other coves, you put a 50-foot dock out, you still couldn't get a boat into it.
Yeah, that's true. The town government can only do so much to get involved in these dock lengths. It's just.
So the neighbors were calling code enforcement because they put a new dock in that was longer than theirs?
What do they think
Well,
it's
I don't want to
length?
start telling tales like that.
No, I'm saying, is that the gist of
I
what's
just
happening?
think 15 feet is way too short.
All right.
In July, they've got 7 feet of dock in the water.
I know,
Boats 4 times as long as that. Why are you going to tie it up?
I know in New Hampshire you're allowed, it's 6 by 40 for seasonal docks, and there is no deviation on that. You know, that goes, you can get a permanent dock to go out to 50 feet out if you're going to have something that's, you know, shallow water, if you have a justification for it. But it's 40 feet, and it's pretty amazing what they can do with a 240 square foot dock. But that fits every little pond and water hole in the state of New Hampshire. It's all the same.
40 feet,
Everything.
40 feet by 6 feet. Wow.
The New Hampshire owns all the water, so the town has no jurisdiction.
That's a large piece.
40-foot dock, you know, someone's got a 24-foot pontoon boat, they may want to put the 12-foot aluminum
In front of
deck,
it.
or the jet
But
ski
you're
or
right,
whatever.
that's a state, that's not a town.
Yeah, it's state. There's no, you don't argue it, you ask for it and thank them for it. And everything's a permit too, every dock has a permit.
And our ordinance, just for the record, anybody who's watching on TV tonight or this week, there's nothing in our ordinance that restricts you to having one dock. People have wondered about how did so-and-so get 2 docks or 3 docks. There's nothing in the ordinance.
So there's nothing
or the state model.
So in the ordinance, can you go out 8 feet and then 50 feet sideways?
Says it can't
Parallel?
extend into the water. Yeah, I guess if you
You
wanted
go
to.
parallel to the shore, right?
It
It's not
says,
extending out.
well, it talks about extend out more than 15 feet perpendicular from shore. So yeah, I guess you could go out 12 and then go.
Does
A
someone,
lot of the people on Lake Arrowhead were doing that. They were going out X number of feet, then turning left So you just don't dock this way, you dock that way.
Micro permeables.
Well, that's something we can address in
Yeah,
the
the
wording
water.
of this thing. But
Yeah,
It's-
if your neighbor puts up a dock, you're boxed out.
Yeah. I mean, I know, I hate to say harping on New Hampshire, but I mean, I think they've got the control of docks down. You're allowed one slip for every 75 feet of waterfront. So if you own less than 75 feet, you have a dock that you're only allowed to dock on one side. So they'll actually put that dock against rock or something like that. You can only use one side. If you have, over 75 feet but less than 150, you can use both sides of the dock. If you have, more than 150, then you can have a U-shaped dock that you can get 3 boats into. It's a pretty.
Maybe we should get a copy of that.
It is defined. I mean, it is.
yeah,
Craig,
copy that.
you work with a lot of lake communities on Winnipesaukee. Would Guilford be a good model, or Alton?
It's a state. It's a state. It is no. It's a state.
So the towns that adopted the
The
state.
town has no jurisdiction.
No
The
jurisdiction.
state owns the
Moorings,
water rights.
docks, and everything, that's a state.
The minute you step in wetland, the
So
state owns
could
it.
we just use the New Hampshire state model
No.
and see if it has any applicability?
It's actually really good. I think it's there's no deviation in it. It's
The 6x40 docks you're talking about, how much frontage did you say we go with a dock like that?
if you're going to use both sides, you'd have to have less than 150 lineal feet.
See, a little bit of gray hair in his head.
What's the average frontage on these houses?
I'm not sure
Oh,
if
yeah,
we can do 40
fluctuate.
feet in Waterboro, that's a lot.
No, well, that's what I'm saying.
Why don't we just
What's an
look at
estimate
the
of
model
shorefront on these houses?
and then modify it from
And
there.
then adjust it for Waterboro. Do they need a permit now for a dock? Or,
There's a table in the ordinance that lists all the different uses in the shoreline zone and temporary docks. Says it's a permit is required by the CEO. There's no,
For
No
a
limit.
temporary
No
dock?
limit
Has
on
that
1 or
been-
7.
that's been followed in the past, I guess. I haven't
Okay.
seen any standards if the CEO needs to base their decision on except these. So I guess as long as it was 15 feet, we got a permit.
Does a town permit a permanent dock?
To get a permanent dock, you need to go to the main DEP to get a full Natural Resources Protection Act permit.
Wetlands and all that.
That is quite a permit to get. It's a
Long
long
process.
process. It involves engineering and.
Same thing on moorings and distance and everything else, that's state.
Yeah,
Really?
but anything permanent,
You want to explain something to me then?
Like the one down here is about 180 feet off the shore.
The 3 down there?
You want to retire early?
Yeah.
Go down water skiing through there and have somebody work it back.
No, I think it's something.
You will
Chief
retire.
Ray,
I mean,
can
I-
say that on TV?
You look at how big is Ossipee? How many acres pond is that?
do we just look at that?
It's not a big pond.
No,
I
it's
thought it was
not
40
really.
acres or something.
Pretty small.
So I mean,
It's gotta be more than
you could. I mean, what's a big boat on Ossipee? A 24-foot boat? I mean, is there any pontoons that are running 30
There's no
footers?
restrictions, are there?
There's no horsepower restriction because it's
No.
over 10.
No.
So I mean, if you had a 24-foot dock, except if you start getting down towards the flowage, a 24-foot dock.
But what do you do? And I can think of a good example when you have a nice summer home and you've got 3 families come in, and one's got a 24-foot pontoon, one's got a ski boat, next one's got a Boston whaler and a 12-footer. There's 3 docks right there.
I mean, are you allowed? And how about boat lifts? Are boat lifts included? Could
All
you
this,
bring a boat
all this
lift in?
could be mute, and the reason I say that is because I think Saco River Corridor, that was started by the state, has jurisdiction over Ossipee Lake.
Do they have on Ossipee too?
I think Ossipee and Lake Arrowhead, because it all drains into the Saco River.
Lake Arrowhead, I don't think Ossipee.
Maybe
Yeah, I
not
know
Ossipee, but I know Lake
No,
Arrowhead.
yeah, I know they're coming
I know
on
they
Lake
do.
Arrowhead.
So we ought to start by checking what Saco River Corridor allows, because we can't give them anything that's longer than what Saco River Corridor is. And I think the
You
15
could.
feet.
You
by
just
next
say,
meeting,
except for
sometime
Saco
could you
River
come back
Corridor has
with
jurisdiction.
Saco River corridor,
What their
what
requirements
their
are.
requirements
No,
are.
I think their requirements are where the 15 feet came from. And that's the whole Saco River and anything that enters into the Saco River. Because I remember they used to send letters to lakefront owners at Lake Arrowhead. I got one of them, I know.
And what'd you do when you get it, Andy?
I turned my dock parallel.
Oh, you-
So I went out 15 feet and went that way. And that's why I know to do that.
But I mean, like, is boat lifts included? Like, somebody you have a boat lift, you come in, you crank your boat up out of the water. Is that permitted?
there's nothing.
So you could hammerhead your dock, put a lift on one end, so when your boat's out of the water, you would just walk to the end, get on that boat. You'd still have your face.
I guess this is the stuff you guys need to figure out what you want it to say.
Something else for
Because
us
all
to
it says
do
now is it can be
is,
15 feet, end of story.
Sounds kind of slim.
Let us do a little research and get
Yeah.
that
I
back
think
to
you
the
write some
board, and
examples of
then
what other locations are doing.
we can get it resolved.
Especially some of these new, Great Lakes docks and stuff like that. You can go out and have a hammerhead. You can have a fire pit at the end. You can have.
And you
They're
go on the
pretty
dock
impressive.
now, there's a ton of them that they just turn the
I think
crank and the
Soccer
thing
River
lifts up
Corridor,
like
they
this.
put Soccer
Water
River
and
There's that, yeah, there's a
They're
whole
40
row
feet
of
long. I
So
saw
it would
10
all
of them
just
today.
get
We put them in all the time.
referred to.
And there's a
take it
boatload
with Soccer
down
River Corridor,
there.
take it
There's
up to
15
Soccer
docks that
River
they
Corridor.
just
We're in
wouldn't, and they just
violation.
drop in the water.
What was that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where we'll start.
Andy,
There's nothing
what they
that-
sent you, what was
There's
that?
not many.
Full length, you go perpendicular,
I
straight up?
don't remember, this was
It
20 years
wasn't
ago.
longer than
This
15
was
feet?
20 years ago.
And you know what
I just
Soccer
guess it
River
was longer
Corridor
than 15 feet
says?
that they had to
All
go.
docks must be temporary, able to be seasonally removed. Can't be more than 10% the width of the river or 10 feet, whichever is less.
There we go, see?
10 feet.
That's
That's
Soccer
the
River
river.
Corridor, right?
That's the
Soccer
river.
Corridor.
Yeah. Very, very strict.
We could-
10
We could say
dock.
go 20 feet, Soccer River Corridor, we're on
That's on the
10.
river.
Yeah, that's a
On the river itself.
My kayak's longer than
More
that.
I know, it's like,
It's 18.
you have a hard time getting out of the front.
Remember the fight we had trying to get clear plastic trash bags?
I think this might be something.
This is
Anyway,
worse.
I guess as you drive around and look at docks, just to see what's appropriate, what you think is a good idea or a bad idea.
And we put those seasonal docks, the crank-up docks that come out of the water, we put those in all the time, and they're a pretty slick system.
That's
And
my kind of book.
when they're in the water, they're rigid, and when they're out of the water, they're out of the water.
And you're
I
on the
guess we
water.
still need, because even the temporary docks are only 15 feet, right? That's what
Says
it looks like,
15
those ones you pull up right on the edge by the road. They got a whole line of them that do that, and they're not that long.
So we just heard the definition of Soccer River Corridor, so even if we say you can build a 15-foot dock, you can't do it in Lake Arrowhead, you can only go 10 feet.
I think that was for the actual river, though. He was-
So you're telling
No,
me
but
there's no docks in Lake Arrowhead that's longer than 10
Oh,
feet?
there's all kinds of them.
I thought so.
But I'm not
This
saying,
one's longer than 15.
that they meet the ordinance. They don't meet, Soccer River Corridor used to, when they had proper funding, notify people, your dock is too long, your dock is in violation, and they used to go out, like, I think the Soccer River Corridor's position now is that their funding's been cut back, so they don't have the manpower
Yeah.
to police it anymore. But I think their ordinance, as we just heard, is 10 feet. And that is not just the river, either it's 10% of the river, the width of the river, I think he said, or 10 feet, whichever is less.
So
Any freshwater,
Eighty-
any freshwater.
what are you looking for, Mark? Maybe a 24-foot pontoon boat? Just to go around and do the checks once a week, or need a gas budget?
It's like a 21-foot Boston Whaler upgrade.
Oh, there we
A
go.
Grady, something like that.
Well, 140.
How about I lend you my kayak?
Okay,
Okay.
I've got one.
Anything else, Mark?
Thank you. No, that's
All
a
right.
good start.
Thanks.
Can we get that? We're gonna have to look into that. Is that on our list of things to do?
Yeah.
So
Boy, tonight was
It's
just,
on new business.
tonight we're just, we're getting beat up on our own
I
ordinance.
think it's only the beginning. Once the 2020 committee comes out with their report, I think the next step will be us looking at the zoning, especially the village zoning.
I think the docks was an issue, like you said, there's,
What happened on the thing we sent to the selectmen
for what?
for,
Cisterns?
Wellhead?
We're meeting next.
Wellhead protection? That's
That's,
still
Tom is gonna get with Natalie.
We're still waiting
on
for
Yeah.
Natalie on that.
They've been tied up.
So we,
Other
The
business.
selectmen said,
little of that, let's get that going.
okay.
We could
That's
use
gonna bite us.
Yeah, it's not gonna take long.
It's up, yeah.
Yeah, she just had a lot on her plate.
we could use a little tune-up on mobile vending units too in the future.
Mobile vending.
Mobile vending units.
Like our hot dog man in the corner.
I'm not,
We have a hot dog man?
Yeah.
I gotta get in this town more often.
It's a bedroom community.
Not before I put mine down the
that's the wrong zone.
Huh?
that's AR, you can't
That's
put
AR.
one there.
I can put it in front of that guy's property.
No, you
No,
need to
you
be in a
can't,
commercial
that's
zone.
Why?
AR, because it's
You need to
AR
be in a
zone,
commercial zone.
not a
A
village
business
zone.
Like village or where retail is allowed.
I went and looked after you said you're gonna do it.
Yeah.
What a feisty witch.
Still
Shut you down, Frank.
I can agree with that. You wanna peek that one?
What's the definition of mobile vending?
Well, mobile vending, typically you show up in the morning, you sell your
Like a food
wares,
cart?
and then you take it home at
Home
night.
with you, yeah, it's not,
It's mobile.
immobile
But
vending.
there are some things out in this world that are used as mobile vending units and have
Never
the
move.
capability to be moved, but they don't move them.
I'm thinking like mobile homes. A lot of those sit there for a long
If
time.
it's a licensed RV, it's not subject to setback requirements in the building, in the zoning ordinance. And
So as long as you maintain your plate, you're
and if
okay.
it's plugged into a electrical system where we have no electrical permits in town.
And they build a dock, build a porch off the side of it?
Yeah, that's,
You're allowed up to a certain square footage, right?
well, those are the things you need to,
So-
we need to put into a,
If I had an
Another
RV
one.
and
we
they
need to
popped
define
down
a
on the
mobile
lake, and I
vending
put a
unit,
dock
because they
off
go to
of
the
it,
state and they get a permit.
it's sell food
That's all they want.
You know what's gonna happen, we're gonna get an influx of people, say, we've gotta get in before the planning board gets its act together.
You got an idea?
This is
I'll
number
tell
3
them.
this evening.
I'm thinking something on the back of the RV that tips down right into the lake. And we park on the causeway and we sell hot dogs into the boat to boats. And then at night we lift it up and drive down the road and come back in the morning.
That would be
There you
mobile.
go.
I think
It's a
in a town
business
that wants
model
to
for
attract
someone.
all this summer residents and tourists, the fact that we can't have a hot dog and ice cream truck down to the beach is screwy. Welcome to Waterboro, come to our beach, nothing there.
If it's one of those if it's one of those rope coaches,
Don't
they
come to
open
our
the
beach.
gate, they open the sides up and you buy
Right.
the stuff and they drive
Then
off to
they-
the
They
next
need
place.
to,
That's
they need to apply for a permit to go down there to be on the beachfront, right? But
But
as
if
long as
they-
they drive, it's like
if they-
daytime permit.
No, you can't get it
You
down.
can't
But if
get.
they throw an
That's
anchor
we don't have
stand there for
anything for
a
that.
year, that's not a mobile vending unit.
So if I roll my hot dog stand down there and sell hot dogs and ice cream, and roll it home at night, it's all right.
That's what I'm saying.
No,
Either
but that's
sell it
public
from a
property down
pontoon
there.
boat.
Yeah.
Not in front of his house, it isn't.
No, but it's not the commercial zone. You have to be a commercial zone to do that.
If you're in the water, if you had it on a pontoon boat in the water, is that?
Isn't that
As long as the
international?
dock's only 15 feet.
Isn't
As long as you don't
that,
touch the land.
isn't that international waters?
Yeah.
Lincoln?
Wow, I think we're getting, we have a business.
So I can
plan.
do that, I can do a float, I can put a float pontoon boat in the lake and throw a cup of
That's
cold.
DEP permit.
That
Don't
was,
anchor. As long as you don't anchor.
Don't anchor.
that was tried in Raymond, and that boat is for sale. It sunk the minute they launched it. Do you remember that?
Let's not compare us to Raymond.
Raymond Beach, Sebago, big Sebago, this one.
Does anybody have anything else?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor? We're adjourned.